Hello everyone! Welcome back to our Math 8 YouTube channel! At kung di ka pa nakapag-subscribe, mag-subscribe na para updated kayo sa ating weekly lesson. And for today's video, we're going to discuss triangle congruence, proving two triangles are congruent. This is our lesson for week number 6. Are you ready to learn? Okay, let's go! The most essential learning competency proves two triangles are congruent. Okay, so before we start the lesson, let us have our learning task number 1, entitled, I know that. We are going to identify the property of equality, the theorem, and postulate stated or based from the given figure. So let us have your learning task number 1. Okay, number 1. And the statement, vertical angles are congruent. Number 2. And the statement, side PR is congruent to side PR, or segment PR is congruent to segment PR. Next, number 3. If triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EFG, then triangle EFG is congruent to triangle ABC. Next, number 4. If triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EFG, and triangle EFG is congruent to triangle JKL, then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle JKL. Alright, so I hope you got the correct answer in our learning task number 1. This is a review of some properties and theorems that we are going to use in this lesson. So in this lesson, we are going to prove that the two triangles are congruent, and we all know from our previous lesson that two triangles will only be congruent if and only if all pairs of corresponding angles and corresponding sides of one triangle are congruent respectively to all corresponding angles and corresponding sides of the other triangle. Here are some definitions that can be used in proving triangle congruence. First one, the median of a triangle, or the median. So a median of a triangle is a segment with endpoints being a vertex of a triangle and the midpoint of the opposite side. Median. So yung median daw, ito daw ay isang segment na nagko-connect dun sa vertex, no? Isang dulo ng triangle, and midpoint naman nung katapat niyang side. So tingnan natin with the figure. Okay, so we have here an example of median of a triangle. So observe the given figure. So the given figure, we have here triangle ABC. Then we have here a segment, no? This segment CD. So this segment CD is a median of triangle ABD. Why? Because this segment from this vertex C connecting to point D, wherein this point D is a midpoint of AB, simply because AD is congruent to BD, or BD is congruent to DA. So we can say that segment CD is a median of this triangle ABD. So that is a median. The second, equilateral triangle. So a triangle is equilateral if and only if it is equiangular. So when we say equilateral, from the word equi, which means equal, and lateral is side, so equal lahat ng side, and then equiangular from the word equi, which is equal, and angular, which means angle, equal lahat ng angle. So, what does it mean? So, kung ang triangle daw ay equilateral or equal lahat ng side, then automatic na equal din ang lahat ng angle. So, in this given triangle ABC, side AB is congruent to side BC and congruent to side AC. Therefore, we can say that angle A is congruent to angle B and congruent to angle C. Na? Or vice versa. If angle A is congruent to angle B and congruent to angle C, then side AB is congruent to side BC and congruent to side AC. Why? Because that is an equilateral triangle. Next, line segment bisector. So, this definition of line segment bisector, we already discussed this definition in our lesson, week number 1. But let us have just a recap of this. So, line segment bisector, this is a line, array, or a segment which cuts or divides another line segment into two equal parts. So, here we have segment AC. Then, we have here array BE. So, this array BE is a line segment bisector. Why? Simply because it bisects segment AC into two congruent parts. So, nung hinati ni BE, si AC, nagkaroon tayo ng segment AB is congruent to segment BC. So, that is by definition of line segment bisector or segment bisector. Okay, so in this lesson, we are only going to use the ASA, SSS, and SAS postulate in proving two triangle congruence. So, let's start to prove. Proving using a two-column proof. So, remember, a two-column proof is the statements and the reasons. So, all of your statements will be written in this column, while all the reasons coming from the definitions, the theorems, the postulate will be written on this column. So, this is a two-column proof proving two triangles are congruent. So, let us have this example. Given triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are right triangles. Another given, angle C is congruent to angle Z. Another given, side BC is congruent to side YZ. Prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. Okay? So, in this proving, kailangan tama yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng inyong mga statements. And kailangan yung statements nyo, yung ilalagay nyo sa reasons, ay base talaga dun sa mga statements or base dun sa figure na nakikita nyo. May dahilan. Na hindi pwedeng basta maglalagay ka na lang ng reason, wala namang basis na postulate, theorems, definitions, or properties. Okay? So, let us start. So, analyze the given, analyze the figure. Now, our statement number 1 will always be given. So, for statement number 1, our given, triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are right triangles. So, reason dyan, that is always given. Kasi nakita nyo naman siya sa given. Okay? Another one is angle C is congruent to angle Z. So, nakasulat din siya sa given. So, given ang reason. And we have side BC or segment BC is congruent to segment YZ. That is also given. Now, since we are going to prove that these two triangles are congruent, so analyze natin yung mga nailagay na natin sa statement. In our statements, pag nabuo na natin yung mga parts na yun na congruent, pwede na natin i-prove na congruent yung dalawang triangles. So, tingnan natin yung statements na nasulat natin. So, dun sa statement number 2, yung angle C ay congruent sa angle Z. So, that is an angle. Okay? So, meron na tayong A. And then, dun sa statement number 3, side BC is congruent to side YZ. That is a side. So, we have already here A and then we have S. So, dun sa tatlong postulate na kailangan nating ma-prove, may AS na tayo. So, dalawa na lang yung possible na pwede natin gamitin. It's either ASA or SAS. So, kung ASA yan, kulang tayo ng isang angle. But if that is an SAS, kulang tayo ng side. So, para malaman, tingnan natin yung figure tsaka yung mga given na statement. Meron pa ba tayong pwedeng i-reason out or statements which is a conclusion coming from the previous statement. So, analyze natin. Take a look at number 1. Triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are right triangles. So, if these two are right triangles, meaning to say, meron siyang right angles. So, tingnan natin yung figure. So, in the figure, triangle ABC, meron tayong small box rito. Meaning to say, this is a right angle. And we have here triangle XYZ. So, yung Y ay may small box rin. Ibig sabihin, this is also a right angle. So, meaning to say, angle B and angle Y are right angles. That is the definition of right triangle na nanggaling siya sa figure at saka sa statement number 1. Again, ulitin natin. Si angle B and angle Y ay right angles. Kasi nga, definition siya ng right triangle. Why? Because according to statement number 1, triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are right triangles. So, if they are right triangles, meron tayong right angle. And that is angle B and angle Y. Dahil nagkaroon tayo ng right triangle dyan, meaning to say, we can prove that these two angles are congruent. Now, we can say that angle B is congruent to angle Y. Why? Because all right angles are congruent. That is a theorem. So, kung yung angle B, itong statement number 5 ay nanggaling naman sa statement number 4. Bakit? Bakit naging congruent si angle B at angle Y? O, balikan mo yung statement 4. Because angle B and angle Y are right angles. And according to this, all right angles are congruent. So, nakapag-prove na tayo ng another angle. Okay? So, based from this, meron na tayo na form na ASA. Tingnan natin doon sa figure. This is an angle. Okay? This is included side. And this is another angle. Same with the other triangle. We have here an angle, an included side, and another angle. Therefore, naka-form na tayo ng ASA or ASA congruence postulate. So, therefore na tayo sa statement number 6, dahil nakabuo na tayo ng postulate, we already proved that. So, therefore, ayang tatlong tuldok na yan, ito, therefore yan, ang ibig sabihin. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. So, ang reason dyan, hindi mo isusulat yung prove ha, kasi kanina, nagsulat tayo given. Baka ilagay mo prove, common mistake yan. Hindi yung prove ang isusulat sa reason. Tanong, bakit mo napatunayan na si triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ? So, because of this postulate, dahil naka-form tayo ng kanyang mga parts na congruent by ASA congruence postulate. So, gawa ng angle, side angle. Okay? So, that is how we prove two triangles are congruent using the two-column proof. Okay, let us have another example. Okay, let us have example number 2. Given OR and MT bisect each other at P. Prove that triangle OPM is congruent to triangle RPT. So, analyze the figure, analyze the given. Now, ano nga yung ilalagay natin lagi sa statement number 1? So, we are going to write always yung given para mas madali tayong mag step-by-step statements and reasons. So, the given is OR and MT bisect each other at P. And reason, given. Now, sir, wala na pong given. Hindi katulad kanina, ang daming given. Madali nating na-prove. So, in this case, kung wala na tayong given na isusulat, and wala na tayong makita doon sa figure, so, analyze natin yung given. No? So, based on the given, si OR daw, this is segment OR, at si MT, naghatian sa point P. So, kung naghatian, ibig sabihin may congruent parts. Okay? So, if this OR bisect MT at point P, we can say that this MP, etong MP na to, segment na to, is congruent to TP. And this OP is congruent to PR. No? Ito yon. Ayan. OP is congruent to PR or RP, and MP is congruent to PT or TP. Why? Bakit naging congruent yung mga parts na yon? Sabi nga kasi sa statement number 1, balikan natin, si OR daw at sa MT ay naghatian. They bisect each other. So that is the reason. Because of the definition of segment bisector. Nagkaroon tayo ng segment na bisector. No? So in this case, meron na kaagad tayong ilang sides ang na-prove natin dyan. So OP and RP, this is a side. MP and TP, this is another side. O diba? Isang bigay kaagad, meron na tayong dalawang parts na na-prove. So may S at saka may S na tayo. So meaning to say, doon sa tatlong postulate, dalawa na lang yung possible na pwede natin gamitin. Yung SSS at yung SAS. Now, kung SSS ang ating hahanapin, dapat ma-prove natin yung third side, MO at RT. Pero kung SAS, angle ang nawawala, what is the included angle? And tanong, kung ilalagay niyo yung statement na yon, may sapat ba kayong reason for that, which is a property, a postulate, a theorem, or definition? So, analyze natin yung figure. So, if we are going to write MO is congruent to RT, tanong, may basis ba tayo na isulat yung statement na yon? May reason ba tayo na pwede nating ilagay based on a property, theorems, na? Now, kung wala, doon tayo sa isa, sa SAS. So, ang missing natin is angle. Question, what is the included angle of these two congruent sides? Very good. We have angle MPO, this is MPO, ito, and TPR, ito naman si TPR, are vertical angles. So, from intersecting segments, we form vertical angles. No, nag-intersect kasi yung dalawa. Now, as soon na nag-intersect ang dalawang segment, may mabubuo tayo diyang vertical angles. Now, if they are vertical angles, ano ngayon kung vertical angles? So, we can say that angle MPO is congruent to angle TPR. That is a vertical angle theorem. O, diba? May theorem tayong na-reason out. So, that is the two angles. Now, based from that, statement number 4 is an angle. Okay? So, we already have here the SAS. No? This side. This is an angle. And this is another side. The same with the second triangle, this side. This is an angle. And this side. So, anong ang gagawin? Kung napatunayan natin, gamit yung postulate. Okay, so our statement number 5 will be the proof, which is triangle OPM is congruent to triangle RPT. So, reason, bakit naging congruent yung dalawang triangle? So, because we already have this postulate because of the SAS congruence postulate. Let us have another example. So, take a look at the given example. Given triangle JUG. So, ito yung malaking triangle JUG. Is an equilateral. And UN, so this segment UN, is a median. Prove that triangle JUN, itong kalahati, ay congruent sa GUN, yung kalahati sa kabilang side. So, ano nga uli ang ilalagay sa statement number 1? Ayan. So, sa statement number 1, pinag-isa na natin yung given, no? Triangle JUG is an equilateral. Then, UN is one of its median. Pero pwede nyo rin siyang paghiwalayin, no? Kung gusto nyo na mas itemize, mas maganda yung pagkakasulat nyo ng mga statements. So, pwede rin siyang paghiwalayin. So, reason, given. Now, dun sa statement number 1, meron kaya tayong pwedeng maging conclusion based from triangle JUG is an equilateral or UN is one of its median? Okay. So, we can say that segment JU is congruent to GU. Why? Because that is definition of equilateral. Remember ang definition ng equilateral? All the sides are congruent. Ano-ano yung side na yan? JU is congruent to UG and congruent to JG. So, since hindi naman natin gagamitin ng JG, etong JG na to, kasi nga, nahati na siya ni UN, so, yung dalawa na lang na side na yon ang pwede nating ilagay sa statement. Why? Because that is the two corresponding sides of these two triangles. No? So, JU is congruent to UG. Galing siya sa definition ng equilateral triangle. So, meron na tayo agad ditong S. Side. Next. Ayan o. JU congruent to UG. JN is congruent to NG. Ito si JN. Ito naman si NG. Bakit? Kasi nga, definition of median, galing siya dito sa statement number 1 na may median tayo. No? Why? Because UN is a median. So, if UN is a median, we can say that JN is congruent to NG or GN. That is by the definition of median. Nahati kasi siya, no? So, meron na naman tayong another side. So, mayroon na tayong SS. So, doon sa 3 postulates na pwede natin gamitin, SSS at SAS na lang ang pwede natin magamit sa proving. Tanggal na si ASA kasi nga may dalawa na tayong sides. Tanong, what will be the missing parts to prove that these two triangles are congruent? Is it another side, no? To form the SSS. The third side, which is UN, yung third side ni triangle JUN, and UN din do sa third side ni triangle GUN. Okay, so obviously we have your UN is equal to UN. That is a reflexive property. Why? Kasi nga, yung UN ni JUN is also the UN of GUN. So if UN is equal to UN, we can say that segment UN or side UN is congruent to side UN. That is definition of congruent segment. So, obviously, we have here another side. So, na-prove natin na yung tatlong sides ay congruent. Okay? So, naka-form na tayo ng S, S, S. So, kung naka-form na tayo ng postulate, ano nga ba ang ating ilalagay sa last statement kung mayroon na tayong na-form na postulate? So, last statement, susulat natin yung prove na triangle JUN is congruent to triangle GUN. Reason? SSS congruence postulate. So, that is how we prove triangle congruence using the 3 congruence postulates. Okay, so this will be your learning task number 2. So, direction, complete the 2-column proof. So, we have here, may mga blank tayo rito, no? Kompletuhin nyo lang yung ilalagay nyo sa statement at reason. And, ito ang choices sa right side. So, side AC is congruent to side AC. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC. Angle DAC is congruent to angle BAC. AC is equal to AC. Definition of angle bisector, AC bisects angle A and angle C. Okay? Number 2. So, ganun din. Ito yung ating figure. Ito ang given. Then, ito yung ating mga statement and reason. So, ito ang pamimilian. Definition of bisector. MT and ST bisect each other at E. SSS congruence postulate. Side S is congruent to side TE. And side MS is congruent to side HT. Okay, learning task number 3. Now, do it yourself. So, wala na tayo dito choices. Kayo na lang ang magpo-prove step-by-step procedure. Kayo maglalagay ng statements. Kayo maglalagay ng reason base dito sa figure. So, given triangle JUG is an equilateral and UN is one of its median. Prove that triangle JUN is congruent to triangle GUN. And that is the end of our lesson for today, week number 6, proving triangle congruence. So on your journal, you can write and complete the given statement. I need to learn more about blank. So I hope you learn in our lesson. Thank you very much and God bless everyone.